Ah, you there. Good to see you again. It's almost like you're following me a bit. Well, if you are, you must be very keen to hear more of the story. I've just got us passage aboard this ship. Let's climb aboard. We've got plenty of time. While avoiding the icebergs, pirates, naval vessels, giant sharks as big as the boat, I believe, and the wonderful tropical storm. But that does give us plenty of time to continue with the noobs at LARP.
Right, welcome back. Let's get into
Let's
the
get
LARP
into
proper
it.
then.
So we turned up at the place.
Oh, you forgot one thing.
Yeah.
You bought awning.
I did. Yeah, actually, pimping the tent was something that we really wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought this awning, and I bought 2 flags.
Oh, the flags are so good.
So the awning is fantastic.
And I didn't know any of this. I knew that he'd done it, but I didn't know what they were. So when we got there, it was just like we unloaded everything, which was a lot of shit.
A lot of stuff.
And then started putting the tent up without bung.
Yeah.
Significantly more challenging.
Much harder.
Significantly more challenging without bung. We moved him back immediately.
Immediately.
But yeah, and then we put the awning up.
Yeah.
Well, eventually.
Yeah, that's kind of difficult with 2 people, but it worked.
So
it was good though.
Having a little sheltered area that's outside the tent.
And being able this time because it wasn't just complete rain the whole time, just being able to put the chairs out, like the benefit of being able to sit in the evening, or just even after you've set up, you can go outside.
It's one thing sitting on your
chairs.
little camp bed. It's another thing sitting on a nice little chair, taking in the evening. It's much better.
So I bought these 2 flags as well, and they basically just have the Ashbourne symbol on. So we sort of tied those to the
looks great
to the awning. You posted a picture of it on the Facebook group you can find it on the podcast Facebook group. But it just looks great. Like actually, I think it really kind of adds something to have those little details on the camp. And getting it all set up and laying it all out, and having that guy come over and test out the apple bobbing and look at all of our stuff laid out. And that bit where you turn up before time in is a really interesting stage of LARP, because it's kind of everyone's excited, and this time around the different sensation compared to what we had last time, which was like a real fish out of water experience, the nerves associated with walking into your first LARP.
I was still really nervous for some reason.
Yeah,
it was. I wasn't nervous as like it was a whole different feeling to it. Yeah, because I was so excited about it.
Yeah,
like to be. I was just really hyped to be there, and I wanted to make the most of it, basically.
So in what way did you find that the nerves kind of was that it? Just the excitement?
It was
of it
more
kind of
so. I wanted to get into more things, and it's only 2 days or whatever.
It's a lot. You end up putting like a weird pressure on yourself.
Yeah, I wanted to make the most out of it, which we'll get to actually, because straight off the bat you had a skirmish
That
straight
was
at
so
time
weird.
in.
So it's like time in is 6 o'clock, and straight away I'd been told by this chap from Eurozone, got in touch with and said, we have a skirmish at I think it was 6:15, but it ended up being like 6:05 essentially. So it's basically had to immediately be in full kit.
It's ridiculous.
And run down there.
Crazy.
And when I got there, it was a massive clusterfuck, which I'll get to. But yeah, that was kind of a strange experience, because last time we obviously all got to step out of the tent together and just have that little bit of RP before we walked in. But this time it was literally like, Ifan, I'm heading off to Eurozen, I'll be back.
Yeah,
and
good luck.
You're not coming, so I could be dead.
Good luck. you know, I hope you come back.
Yeah.
And it was like, it really had this weird feeling on it. And there's a couple of times this happened where, what if you died?
Yeah.
Right? And I kept thinking, Ifan's gone through a lot through his tragic backstory, right?
Tragic.
So, and he's had a really good time getting back to the Empire.
Yeah.
I wanted Ifan to have a good weekend. You know?
I mean, how it would have affected our characters had one of us died, which would have been really. That's a really interesting thing. It would really, all the things that didn't happen would all be really interesting.
It would be devastating to Ifan. And what am I going to do? Spend the whole weekend bummed out about you dying and me not being there? That's like.
I was really worried as well, because it was like a 15-person skirmish, which means it's really small. And that means that if things go bad, they can go bad really quickly.
I was not that. I thought you were dead. I literally.
Well, this is the
I
thing.
just assumed that that's how this was going to go.
Because it ended up when I. Well, I think what we should actually do is we'll kick into what you did while I was away.
No, you should do the skirmish
We'll
first.
do the skirmish
there's
first,
more
then
of
fight back
you
to
had a bigger Friday night than I did.
So head down for it, and there's just loads of different groups basically going through the gate to do from all different nations. Huge amount of people all heading off on their own little skirmishes. So I think they basically messed up the timing and stuff.
You had 15 people in
my group, but different groups were going. Some with more people, it looked like. Some with less. It ended up actually in our group being 20 people, I think. Maybe even 21. I don't know. So it was a slightly bigger group, but it was small. It was like us and Highguard, I want to say, although it could have been Dawn. I get the two a little bit confused just because of which is like they would be like, what? Yeah. But it's like because of what they wear, right? They both wear plate
right now.
Right? Yeah, they both wear plate, and I never actually spoke to them. Well, that it actually sort of like really got a grasp of who they were because I was just focusing on trying to do any RP I could with Eurozen.
But this is one thing which I started to look at people as their nations a lot more, right? Like especially on the battlefield or just walking around and just interacting with different people. You start spotting people and being like, "Oh, he's from there, she's from there," you know.
And you get an identity of who you are. Occasionally, people will confuse your nation, but you're like, "Oh no, I'm from here." And then it's interesting to hear how people instantly flip. Like if someone mistakes me and says I'm from Wintermark, maybe they'll assume, which is like the Wintermark and Navarre brief. They do have crossover points.
We have got to up our
tattoo
game.
Yeah. That's on us though. We've never really fully committed to it. I've got those. Laser printer things tattoos that I'm going to have to give a go at some point.
We must look into the best products and how to do it, and then once we know, we'll tell everyone else.
Yeah, but that's something that all of our kind of tattoos and things, because Navarre is really all about face tattoos. All of them have been super kind of quick and easy. Bear in mind,
it's we do it as a last minute thing, which always. Yeah. In fact, I had to go, hey, the tattoos, and then we went, oh yeah, shit, and then we did this while you were getting ready to go on your skirmish.
Yeah, I mean that was so crazy. And what was really really interesting was though, I wasn't nervous in that stage, right? I was nervous about going on a skirmish and potentially my character dying and all that kind of stuff, but I wasn't nervous in the same way I was nervous walking out for E1, where I was nervous for me. You know, for me, Ian, walking out, role-playing, that was what was making me nervous in that sort of environment. And this, it was much more like I'm worried for my character. And then I am also worried, you know, how will I perform? I don't want to completely embarrass myself.
Again, I think this comes the anticipation of having missed on E2. Yeah. We were so fucking hyped for this.
Super hyped.
So what happened?
So I head down to the gate. You see all these different groups getting filed through. I think they'd messed up the timing or just hadn't really considered what it would... everything takes longer in LARP. I think they hadn't really fully considered like how long each group are going to take. You know, it's not just a few minutes. It's a pretty long thing.
Yeah, the gate was up this time. The little teleport to different battle areas.
To walk through it and stuff. It's very cool. Yeah, and then... So eventually our group goes through, and it was really cool, man. It was basically... before we'd gone through, it was Eurozen and, as I say, I think Highguard. I'm going to say Highguard, but I apologise if it's not Highguard.
I think you said Highguard when you got back.
I think it was. Even then, I wasn't 100% sure, I have to say. But so if I'm wrong, I apologise. But anyway, so it was Eurozen and Highguard going through the gate to basically try and take out a messenger before they could relay this information back. So we're trying to kill.
It's so cool.
Things. It was so good, and we go into the woods, and we're sort of looking for them in there, and they're sort of hiding in the bushes and stuff, and they're getting ready to leap out at us. But what's really cool was
hiding in the bushes, going to leap out at you. That's awesome.
It was really cool. And what the people who do the monsters,
you were hunting them, right?
Yeah, but they were obviously trying to get through us. I think the idea was we kind of teleported in the area they were.
Like you're in the between them and their objective.
So they need to get past us basically, right. And if possible,
so you had to stop everyone.
That was the thing. I had to try and kill them all, right? So they weren't necessarily trying to engage with us, but they were trying to get past us and eliminate us if they could. And a lot of that was trying to like lure us into the woods, right? There was this kind of thick undergrowth, and they try and lure us in. And the idea is then you could get ambushed. A couple of times that happened. A couple of times we reversed it on them. It was super sweet. But kind of what was cool was before we were going in, I was obviously from Navarre, so I'm kind of from outside, so it was kind of cool when they were reading off, you know, who's going on this conjunction, which is basically the thing, which is where you teleport to another place. Who's going on it? And they were listing everybody off, and one Navarre was mentioned, and that's me, right?
The one Navarre.
And then it was just cool because people started referring to me as the Navarre, and that was kind of cool because it was like all of a sudden I'm representing my nation.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I want to perform. I'm super nervous, and like it's kind of awkward because I'm kind of thrust into the situation, and my RP game maybe wasn't that strong because I don't actually know any of these people
Your
that
RPMs,
well.
Ian, were not high enough.
They weren't. I just wasn't kicking into RPM stage, and I got the feeling, to be honest, most people weren't.
But I was rushing you when you left.
Yeah,
right. Like I was
so
going.
much
I was like a, you know, like a.
You've got to go.
Like a husband or wife
Yeah.
going. Well, you're gonna be late. Do you know what I mean? You've forgotten this, and you've
I am
forgotten that,
ridiculously
and,
slow at getting ready.
you know, you put this on, and I was doing your laces up for you, and away you went. But yeah, you weren't in a.
No, but actually, when I got there was no rush. But it was kind of cool, and that was a really cool element, that there was something special about my role being there to me, right? Even if nobody else really noticed, to me it was special, and everybody kind of really, even if they didn't do it on purpose, they sold that idea of me being there special to me. Yeah. To me, that's how it felt, and that was really awesome, just to walk away with that experience.
So awesome. That's so great.
And so we go on this mission, and like it's tough because you're dealing with a small unit, so you can't really form proper blocks, and when you divide, you're only 7 or 8 people, so it's not many lads, so not many sort of players to run off and do things. So, but the leader, the military leader of Highguard was phenomenal, and our people were great as well. We have some, like, the people from Eurozen I was with, they have some proper badass fighters. There's a couple of them where you're like, they're legit, and they're why their nation survives, because they bring out these people, and on the battlefield they're mean as fuck, and they mean business.
And people like that are inspiring.
Yeah,
right?
dude.
They make everyone around them better.
We'll get into that, because so many people go to the battles, and let's be honest, and we've got to probably throw ourselves into this. A lot of people are very, very average, but there are a couple of people who are really, really good, and they'll make everybody up their game through communication, through you seeing them perform. You want to kind of live up to that standard and follow what they're saying. And some people literally earn respect on the field, you know, and to the point where you'll follow them and you'll be like, yeah, you know what you're doing. I'm a chump.
There's plenty of people that can lead without saying a word.
Yeah.
Right. Like they do.
Confidence
a lot
is a huge sell, and it's interesting when you're fighting people. A lot of people don't really want it. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't want to get hit, and they don't want to. Therefore, they don't want to engage. So a lot of times in battle is just you facing somebody, wiggling sticks at each other. Essentially,
it's also like the idea of fighting. A good leader adds to, like, so there's a wall in front of you, and you're describing, oh no, it's me versus the wall. What a good leader instills is, we are going to go and kick their ass, right? Like you're not by yourself. Everyone's going to be with you, and it's so good. Yeah, so how did the actual skirmish?
So it was great. So all of that aside, bear in mind I play an archer build, so I have a sword. But my experience is very different. When you're playing an archer physic, which is a strange combination to begin with, it seems. Although I think actually kind of a cool combination. But when you kind of are playing that, you kind of have this strange skirmish medic role.
Why don't you talk about how that was? It your first shot went, Ian?
So I'm not a bad archer.
Ian does do the occasional bit of archery.
Yeah, I'm okay. I mean, I'm not brilliant, but I'm okay. I can hit what I'm aiming at roughly. Okay, so which is all right.
Person size thing, right? Yeah. You're gonna hit that, right?
Yeah, and I know the technique, and I've been working a bit as well.
What could go wrong?
So it's just weird how simple things like drawing arrow back and not brushing your thumb right up against it.
So you put the arrow in,
you knock it in, you draw back, and then
aim it.
But I've got it gripped, Dave, with my thumb on the actual arrow, right? If you imagine that as almost like a traction pad on the arrow holding it in place.
So Ian,
you don't want that there.
Ian, I don't know. I've shot maybe a couple of bows at some like fates and stuff, but pretty sure that's wrong.
That is wrong. And but you don't want to drop your arrow mid battle. And we're going through this thing, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling pretty badass, to be honest with you, at this stage. Everybody's got me G'd up. I'm really hyped about being the Navari in this group. And then so I'm saying to people, sort of whispering their way, I'm going to be shooting over your left shoulder.
It sounds
all this stuff.
So
it sounds
badass.
so slick, right?
You're like,
and then I'm like,
just stay where you are. I'm just going to shoot over your left shoulder.
And there I am. So basically there's a bit where there's our force and their force facing off. And it's, bear in mind, we're talking about small units of people here, so it's very personal combat. So it's like taking out one guy with an arrow shot is a big deal. Like the people on the other side are literally saying, watch the archer on the way in, watch the archer on the way in. So then they charge, I draw back, I shoot, and I've just left my thumb on the arrow, and it just dies. It dies on the bow, and it literally it just farts out about 3 meters in front of our line,
makes me
and they just
cringe.
run over the top of it. The person next to me, who was a lovely lady and was phenomenal on the field as well, just looked at me. I wasn't like sickened, was just like, well, that could have gone better, basically. Just with her eyes. That's the feeling that we both had. And then it was like, instantly they're engaged, right? Like the person who I was shooting at just looked at the arrow on the floor and just powered on with their run. And I was like, I've really fucked us here. All of a sudden, right, I was supposed to take a person out and give us the numerical advantage. Essentially, now they have the numerical advantage because I'm there doing nothing.
There's maybe a staggered start as the people realise our archer just,
fuck the shot.
He just absolutely...
So then the 2 lines hit. Our guys do amazing work. Led by, as I say, a few key people, just really worked on them hard, kicked their ass. During that, I did manage to actually pull an archery shot off.
Hey.
And then that, it just... At that stage, it was like I had to do a bit of sword fighting, so I had to draw sword initially and just kind of keep someone away. Someone else was awesome and came in and actually swooped in and occupied them, which meant that I could then withdraw, put my sword back, draw an arrow, and then flank around the side and shoot people on the side.
Archers are so filthy.
Yeah, it's really fucking sickening.
They're sneaky. We'll get
you
to
had a lovely experience.
Yeah, we'll get to my experience with those archers.
So yeah, that was great. And then, so we kind of pushed them back, and then comes this really kind of cool bit where we have to sort of work our way through this really thick underbrush, which is like, it's these bushes, right? These really tall bushes. And we're kind of climbing through, there's these little kind of channels that lead through them. And we're sort of pushing through, trying to find them in there. And then all of a sudden we just get hit from like 3 different sides, half the columns in, half the columns out of these bushes. We're all getting smashed. Somebody's running up behind us. I draw an arrow. It's one of our guys. It's like, they're coming! Just literally running past me.
They're coming and they ain't stopping for shit.
And then I say to him, we can't move. Like, we're locked up. You got to stay here. So I like grab him, turn him, and he's like, and then this time I'm like, I'm going to fire over your right shoulder.
Is this a previous
person who probably didn't notice that my shot.
He's
I must not have inspired.
He's not pretending to be Legolas again, is he?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
But this time the guy runs around the corner. I just nailed him straight away. It was so good, and this was like in thick underbrush as well. It was so good. So I hit him, and then obviously their line hit. We got locked in a pretty serious conflict where we kind of locked in half inside these bushes, let's say, and then we flushed them out. We just did real work on them, and I'll fast forward, but we did real work on them for the whole kind of skirmish. A couple of them got away. It turned out those were the people with the documents that kind of fucked up there, but we did serious damage to their unit. But yeah, and then there was like a time on it, so we had to fall back. We go through the gate. Everything's peachy. It's been ages at this point, by the way.
Let me tell you. Should I tell you what happened to me leading up to that moment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I did the. I was left on my own, right? Which was a bit kind of like, oh, God. All right. Well.
What does Ifan do here?
I'll hang around, and then the standing came along. So it was when Navarre will meet up, and everyone takes it in turns to say something about what.
What was that like the second time round?
It was cool, and also I knew who people were.
Yeah.
So, well, some people, not everyone.
People. But you know people by sight, right?
Yeah, there's certain people that were like, oh, that's this guy, that's this guy, that's what they all represent. And so, but I was like, I have news. Yeah. I have news for the standing. I will go and speak at the standing.
That was cool. So what did you do? Did you go and ask somebody and then?
Well, I headed around the back where there were kind of people mingling, and said, "How do I go?" And they said, "I'll just make a queue." Yeah. So that's it. That's the vetting that takes place.
That's cool though, because I love it, and I like it. Kind of echoes of that whole songs and storytime thing, where if you've got something to say, there's people who will listen and they'll enjoy what they hear because you're giving it. And they're happy to receive it.
I was like, I made that decision quite quickly.
Yeah.
And didn't really think about the implications of standing in front of a large number of people.
IC as well. That's the other thing. It's all IC.
Well, IC helped because I was like, there's a certain element of a wall, right, that you can kind of have fun with. No, I just waited patiently. Everyone went through their stuff. There was some pretty serious, like, scary murdering.
We must resolve this.
Could people still stop murdering people? Would that be good?
The Navarre murders and stabbings and all of that.
A really rich guy, one of the richest guys or the richest guy, was on a battlefield at E2, and he got downed,
Right.
and then someone came up and went for this group, that like a Navarre group or something,
Right.
and then murdered him
Wow.
on the battlefield.
Wow.
Murdered like this.
I didn't
really
know
rich guy.
that.
Okay. And there's like, so they went through stuff talking about how, yeah, because you don't know anything, you weren't understanding, right? So, one guy was saying about how that was a stupid thing to do because this guy had actually donated money to get, I think it was the weapon that we saw that to get the weapon back.
Yeah. That we got this.
I think there was a guy who he bankrolled a bunch of stuff to do with that. So it was like, why did you kill him?
Yeah.
He helps Navarre. Like, he's a friend to Navarre. Don't kill him. And then
There's a whole bunch of stabbings, Dave.
oh, it's just, and pickpockets and thieves.
I get it. It's on brief, and actually, I'm fine with crime, and I'm fine with it all completely.
It's just embarrassing.
But that's kind of our characters talking there. I think that's the interesting thing. It's like it's embarrassing for our characters to experience. But I think
I don't want everyone thinking Navarre are dirty, thieving,
it's kind of I can
bastards.
see it, right? I can see how some people are putting that as on brief, and I think that's fine.
I
I'm completely down with it, and actually being the crime nation is not such a bad thing. It's kind of cool. That little element of danger is kind of cool.
Not being a law-abiding citizen within that nation. Maybe I should turn to crime.
Who knows? But it sounds really cool.
I think I'll just be crap at it. I just don't think I'll have the nerve to steal or murder someone.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to do it legit, haven't you? I mean, it's not easy as well. There's so many mechanics.
I like my character, right? I don't want him to just get murdered by the militia, because I would definitely get caught.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, I think that's the cool thing, actually. There's
but
a
what
lot...
he looked like, he had some ridiculous facial hair and some glasses.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy wearing the gimp armor. Yeah, that's the fella.
Round him up.
Round him up.
Yeah. So sorry. There was. What else happened?
Oh, and then and then it was my turn, right? So I was like, shit, and I was really nervous, but I was like, no, this is what this is all about. And I used to be quite good at public speaking, but I haven't done it for ages.
Yeah, it's tough.
So I was like, let's try and shift into that gear and see if there's any, grunt in it anymore.
Yeah.
So I went up there and I just said about the apple bobbing, and I got L.R.P, which was good.
It was fine,
I really, it was nerve wracking, but good. Yeah, it went well. And basically, I was just saying about come on down, do the apple bobbing. Apple bobbing did not happen.
Didn't happen. It was just that the weather took a slight turn. We lost that glorious heat that we had, and I think it just wasn't the right time for it. Plus, let's be honest though.
If it had been a few days earlier, we would have made so much money.
I know.
We would have
could have
made
an absolute killing.
So much bank. We would have had other nations hearing about it and coming on down to get part of that action.
Oh, you would have had such good
so
apple
much money,
bobbing
and it would
as
have been
well.
so much fun.
Yeah. But I think substitute that we had so much fun because we just went on so many skirmishes as well.
Skirmishes
and battles.
We'll get to that, Ian.
Yeah, but there's a lot of fighting.
Okay,
though.
so then after that, I did the standing, and everyone kind of broke up. I think the Empress, someone tried to assassinate her.
Yeah, so I heard about this when she spoke at the standing, and the Empress has done some things which are by some people perceived as a bit dodgy.
Yeah,
with
there's
regards to
definitely a little bit of low mutterings of people not happy with the Empress.
But some people can kind of see why she's done the things she's done, and other people can see
there's
why.
other people that are just blindly loyal, right?
Yeah, and it's so it's kind of this interesting. And that must be such an interesting character. Playing the Empress must be so crazy.
What a bonkers.
Well, yeah, I can't even imagine.
Hey, what do you do for a hobby? Oh, I'm the Empress of in a fantasy world. How many people are there? That's like a couple of thousand.
Yeah, like you.
No, I'm literally the ultimate. I'm almost like a deity made solid. You know what I mean? Like Jesus.
Oh, it's crazy. But anyway, so on her way out, somebody tried to stab her.
I heard I got completely job.
bogged,
But I think it might have been something to do with the Dark Plateau vibe or something. Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I heard a bunch of stuff, but I don't really want to. But anyway,
again, the rumor mill. Do not take anything we say as. That's
the kind of cool thing when you're in LARP. Actually, all of the stuff you hear is literally just Chinese whispers. You know, you don't know really how reliable any of the information is. Like, even the information you got at the standing could be fairly
anything. I mean, like, you could imagine if someone like just paid people to go out there and spread misinformation, how powerful
it must
that
probably
would be.
happen, right?
I mean, that would be, forget fake news.
Yeah,
that would spread like wildfire.
Yeah, it's all word of mouth.
Yeah,
and it's all open to interpretation. Right, like I could phrase it very differently.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Oh, that's interesting.
I have
nothing to gain by doing.
No,
that's
just
interesting.
We're not involved in that way.
But
yeah,
so after the standing, sorry, I'm rambling on here.
After the
standing, I kind of stood around for a bit, and I was a bit like, what the fuck does Ifan do when Talis isn't here to do stuff with, right?
Right.
So I wondered about. That's what I did. I went and watched the Marchers do battle drills.
Right.
Right. So they're just you come out the gate outside the forest that we camp in, just in front of behind a few tents. There was just this open bit, and they had all these. Some of them are noobs, some of them are more experienced people, but doing like formation movements and stuff like this.
Because the Marchers have got lots of pikes, isn't it?
Pikes,
Stuff like that.
no shields, just pikes.
Yeah.
Like, and it was just
That
like
seems
they
badass.
look like a peasant army, right? Like, it's cool.
The
It's
Marchers are fucking awesome, by the way.
Yeah, I like the
really
Marchers.
cool
I think,
nation to go and
I
visit.
think there might be some icy, like, conceived beef between the Marchers and Navarre, but that might have been sorted out now.
Right. Okay. I
There was
did hear a
something
few things.
I think there was something like if the Marchers show up, that everyone should be really nice to them and be like they have a legitimate grievance about something and should be given all
courtesy
when they arrive. So I don't know what happened with that. I wasn't involved, but watched them for a bit. That was fucking cool. I kind of walked around for a bit, and then I started going. I'm a bit nervous about this now. They've been gone a long time.
Yeah,
right?
because it had taken so long to get through the gate in reality that we hadn't left till later. So therefore, you've got to add on like probably 45 minutes longer than you thought it was going to be.
So I wandered down to where the Eurozen camp was before because they've moved now, which is near Wintermark. So I went to Wintermark. They weren't there. Went the other side of the field. Literally, as you're coming out the gate.
Yeah,
the timing was bizarre. It was
crazy, and
like,
it was so good to see you when I came out as well.
I was so happy
because I was so ready. Do that whole thing.
I was so ready to go ape shit.
Right.
That was going to be how I was going to deal with your death.
You really thought I was dead then on the way up there?
I just assumed that you'd be dead. I just assumed because it's us. Of course you'll die on the first skirmish of the first battle on the first evening when we've spent so much time talking about these characters. Of course, obviously. But no, there you were, happy-faced.
It was great. I just ran over, we embraced. It was kind of cool.
I tried to shake hands with a couple of years in.
And that was kind of cool, but everybody, I think, did really well there because we kind of played on the whole thing of, like, they don't have physical contact. You tried to shake their hands. You tried it multiple times. I think that worked really well.
That was funny, yeah.
People kind of, and you always looked bemused.
I think there was a moment of the kind of geek outrage of, this is part of the character. I'm like, I know, I'm doing it, but you know what I mean?
I'm doing it because it's part of the character.
I'm just trying to get that to click. Right?
And I really like that. And that happens actually a bunch of times in LARPs, very subtly, that people will actually play the fool a little bit.
They give you a little nudge or a wink, and then you'll be like, wink, wink back. It's good.
There'll be, and the first time you realise, you're like, oh, they don't know this piece of information, and you actually will kind of almost tell them OC, but in IC that no, actually this is why that is, and then they'll kind of come back and say, essentially, oh, I know, I'm role playing into it, and so you have that little interaction, and then the RP flows. It's kind of quite interesting. That happens a bunch.
I really enjoyed meeting them, and I thought that they were really interesting, like.
Just super cool people.
The nations are really interesting. That I kind of had this feeling that they were so arbitrary. Why do you have these nations? But E2, I definitely had this kind of. The nations are really defined, and I think they draw people that maybe stick to those sort of like emotional kind of people that bracket,
It's twofold, right? It gives you the ability to sort of suddenly decide to explore something that's very different from yourself, or to go and find comfort and a level of understanding.
And people that are going to be similarly minded as well.
In something that you're more comfortable with. So, like, for example, the type of person who plays Eurozen might be different from the type of person who plays Navarre, which might be the different type of person who plays...
They seem to be in character anyway when I was talking to them.
But then you might suddenly decide, oh, I'm going to go and play as a Eurozeni, or I'm going to play as a guy from Highguard, or I'm going to play as a Varushkin. And then that decision might take you way out your comfort zone, but in a good way. And like for example, deciding you're going to go and play an Orc, right? That's something that you'll come to a decision as a player and say that's something I want to give a go, and it's almost like taking on a certain level of challenge. You know what I mean? Because it's outside your comfort zone, maybe, or maybe it's not. Maybe maybe playing an Orc is literally the most comfortable thing you could do.
It really started to hit me, especially when I was on the battlefield, and how the different units fight from different nations, and there's some really cool dynamics out there.
The interplay between the nations.
Like if you see a Dornish shield wall coming up on your left. You should be rightly confident that that's probably going to hold really well.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they might advance too much, but they'll hold the line,
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. So what do we do? What do we do the rest of Friday night then?
So
No big D. We should just say that straight off the bat.
Unfortunate. So sad we didn't get to see him again. But
devastated.
met up with so many other cool people.
Almost ruined my weekend.
Yeah.
Almost ruined my week. No big D. No big
So
D.
cool. Really, yeah, but we'll catch up again. But no, it was fantastic to just sort of come back from a battle and see you and just be able to go off and enjoy the evening.
Was there anything in between then and the next skirmish?
So we had that night out with our neighbours, wasn't that on
No,
Friday
that was,
night?
but that was after.
The second
You
skirmish.
Yeah.
I forgot, yeah.
Let's tell it. Do you want to do it or shall I?
No, you should. It's your story, the first bit.
Okay, well, so obviously I'm like jonesing for some action right now, right?
Yeah.
Like
I've come back and I'm successful.
Yeah.
Are you going to step up?
I've just bought a brand new sword that I'm really excited about. I'm G'd up. And there's a skirmish. And I hear mixed reports on when the skirmish is going to take place, right? Like, we thought we'd missed it at one stage, or it was way later. I think it might have been, we thought it was way later. And then someone said, no, it's setting up now. And I was like,
I haven't got any of my kit on.
Shit. So I literally ran back to the tent, put all my gear on. Bear in mind, like, I've been going to the gym recently, so I'm like, this is what I wanted. I want to work. I've been working for this. This is what I'm so up for this.
For the record, he was so G'd up. It was fantastic to see.
I was swinging my sword around. I was stepping. I was
seeing your confidence levels when you had the sword.
Yeah.
And
your shield as well.
And we went through a couple of moves. I've done a little bit of fencing, a bit of sword play before. So as I was telling you what I knew, which is very, very basic.
Yeah, it was good though.
But it was kind of cool to see you then wield your sword.
You planted a few seeds in my head of what I wanted to be doing, and it was good. Anyway, so I'm again very excited. Head off, and there's they're picking who's going to be around. They're going, there's this many people. We might not be able to take all of you, so we'll just start, divvying people up.
Yeah.
So I'm there. I'm fucking pumped, right? I'm really excited. And then, like in one of those school picking a team type
picking
vibe,
football.
He says all the healers, all the physics, where you at, and everyone starts
Simon.
stepping forward, and they just like go off and they go, all right, now what do we need? Oh, we need like heavy, large, shielded guys. They all step up. What about poles and spears and long weapons? And everyone has a few of those, and they go up there because Navarre, and there's a lot of those, and they go, right. What about archers? Oh, archers! Yeah, we need some fucking archers. Let's get the archers up here, right? A bunch of archers go up there. And then it gets to this awkward... There's only like, I don't know, 10 of us left, but there's very few. There's like one left.
I think there's isn't there just like 8 spots because 2 people couldn't
Something.
go?
And then they picked a few people. And then he said like, who wants to go? And I'm like, I want to go. And then that wasn't good enough. And it was like, then they were like, all right. Then this other person showed up who's probably more experienced than I am.
Yeah.
They went, oh, we'll take you. And off they went. And I don't even know whether it's in character or not, right? That's how blurred my emotions are for what that was.
You're super bummed. Yeah.
Because I was just devastated. I was like the kid that didn't get picked. You know what I mean? Like, and there were loads of people and everyone looked so excited.
This as well. It was the fact that I'm a physic and an archer, obviously. And then it turned out halfway through, the bumblebees, who basically are the referees, they came along and said, because it's getting dark out there and there's been a bit of rain, mainly because of the light levels, we're not having any archery. So 50% of my power was taken away from me. But all of a sudden having loads of physics was really important.
I was so excited.
So there was a whole bunch of archers who essentially just had to suddenly switch to sidearms. And they essentially got picked over the top of you, which is kind of a shame. But, I could have stepped out as a physic. We had way too many physics, probably.
But OC, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Like,
of course.
I was bummed out about it, but it's like, if that was me in that position, I would have made exactly the same decision.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not
It's
at all
not like I'm
that.
judging anyone for it.
No.
But me, I was fucking devastated.
Yeah.
I was devastated. And off you go again by yourself. A way to get killed. I didn't think you were going to get killed as much. I thought there was still maybe
which is weird because
essentially 20%. I felt
all of a sudden I don't have my bow, so I'm actually essentially a weaker combatant now, right? Because I don't have a shield and just a sword. So I'm essentially in a more peril now. But yeah, I think we both felt maybe that because we were going to a bigger group. And I'd already been through one that it was more chance.
But the problem is I can't go I can't stop and be like, excuse me, good man. I've just bought this sword, and you know, I'm really, really excited. My mate wanted a skirmish earlier. At this point, my character really needs to do this. Could you just hook a brother up? You know what I mean? I couldn't think of a. But the thing was, I knew I could have stepped up and done some RP and done it, but my mind was just blank. Like there was just.
But that's good RP.
Yeah, but
that's good RP.
No, Ifan would not have taken no to not go on that skirmish.
But maybe next time he won't.
It just
maybe next time he won't.
I was. You know what I mean? I don't know what came over me.
I also think there's a certain amount OC of everybody understands it's a shit job to be the guy who has to tell people they can't go.
Oh yeah.
So you don't want to be the guy who suddenly gives him shit, right? Because it's like
he has nothing to prove.
Yeah.
That guy. He's an absolute legend.
Our generalship, like the top people, phenomenal. Like that guy, I don't know his name, but he's amazing.
He's one of the
when
we're talking about inspirational people, bam.
Top tier players of the whole event. For
right.
me.
So tell me about your goddamn skirmish.
So skirmish number 2.
Yeah.
So this one is kind of we're attacking. What are we doing now? Yeah, we're attacking these forts. I think. God, it's all gone a bit blurry. But yeah, so we head out as a big group this time.
Too much fun, and it's hard to remember all the fun you had because there was so much.
There was so much. So this time,
I was joking.
No, that's it. So we're going to go and protect a site where there's these spellcasters performing this ritual, and we have to protect them. Okay, and it's like
sounds great.
It's so good. So we have to fight our way to the area.
It's getting dark, right?
Yeah, it's getting proper dark. So that's it. You have to fight our way to this kind of spot, take it, protect the wizards while they're doing also the mages while they're doing their magic.
So they're all like,
and they're all role playing out
right?
Magic.
There's like weird coloured lights.
It's green lights. The whole place is illuminated in green.
Was there smoke as well?
Yeah, there's people running around with the smoke machines, and you've got all the people we're fighting. The whole point is that they've kind of been infected by this weird nature thing. So you've got humans who've got like green on them, and they're all talking about how we should join them and how like they're infused with the magic of spring and all this kind of stuff.
Sounds so good.
And then we've got like weird tree dryad-y things coming out as well.
This guy's dressed up as well.
Yeah, it's so good. And they're coming out of the woods. Basically, it was fought in the same place as the previous skirmish.
Was it like
just next to the bush?
Was it like aliens? You know, they're all around us, and then like the scenery moves and grabs someone. Like...
Yeah, no, it was kind of so they were just attacked from these angles, and we were constantly we basically formed like a semicircle around the mages, which gets extended and bulges at certain points, and then retracts. Yeah. There's a lot of issues, and everybody tried to do a good job, but just the nature of the combat sort of drags people away, and then you have to sort of pull them back in. But so we've got this semicircle formed, and they're getting pressed on all sides all the time, and then occasionally we get these little incursions coming from the bushes where they come running out, these little forces, and all of a sudden there's pockets of people having to defend, and you've got this situation where in the middle of that semicircle the spellcasters, or the mages, sorry, and physics like me essentially just running around dragging people, healing them. It sounds so good. It was so good, and we got constantly pressed, and there was points where they were kind of getting into the line, but then we just that happened for the first few kind of maneuvers, and then everyone just locked it down. Like the big guy who'd given that kind of, he'd put the group together, the guy we were talking about earlier, he just took total control over the situation.
I was a fucking
and then
machine.
He had really good sub commanders, I feel. And then so we're just getting into spots, and it's cool to be able to walk behind people and say, you know, I'm a physic. If you get injured, I'll drag you back. And I had points to actually step up in the line myself. Mm-hmm. And you know, even though I've just got a sword, like actually being able to do that is super cool. Just be able to like keep someone a bit busy while someone else flanks around and hits them or something. And because it wasn't a massive skirmish, right? I don't know how many people went, but it wasn't huge, but it was big enough. You've got enough people to keep everybody busy, but these kind of little sort of 4 or 5 man advantages can really suddenly make a massive difference, and everything can swing because that's a big like percentage of your army that you have that they don't. So it can kind of swing really quickly. It was really cool. And what's kind of interesting was when I'm playing as an archer, there's certain things that I have, like I love doing archery, and when it goes well, it's awesome. But a little bit of sword play and frontline combat. I mean, we'll get when it comes to you. It
sounds awesome. It really does, Ian. It sounds.
But when it gets to you, you'll be able to go a lot more, I suppose, into this different sensation that you feel when you're in a melee, right? When you're in actual physical contact. But when you're firing an arrow, it's a very different sensation. It's a tactical battle, and it's very much about your positioning.
You're making like a commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And every arrow, you only have a certain amount. And bear in mind, these all cost real world money. So, like, you do have the natural worry of, like, you know, I bought this many and I only have 7 arrows. And, like, at points I'd shot all my arrows in it. So it's like, you know, what do you do? But obviously in this particular scenario, I was just using a sword. Anyway, cut long story short again, because we'll push on to other things.
Nothing we do is short.
And, just fought through the skirmish. Everything was achieved. It all went fantastically. I don't think we lost a person. Everything was amazing. We all came back through the gate.
It just sounds like the perfect...
Absolute 100% successful mission. Phenomenal. Everybody really stepped up and did the job. Come back, and you are blue ballsing hard for some battle.
Oh my god! So let's hear my exciting evening, right? So here's what I did. Having not been picked, I trudged in back to the tent, fully kitted up, holding my sword and shield, by myself.
Yeah,
walking through the camp. People looked at me. They saw the disappointment in my eyes, and I took all my stuff off, sat down for a minute. I was like, I kind of just started drinking. I went around a couple of bars.
Yeah.
Oh, there was one good thing that happened out of this. I got really drunk. I was hanging out in the Navarre bar, which is Navarre.
Oh, is it? Okay, I never actually got it. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's a cool name.
It's a cool place.
Yeah, I probably didn't say it right. But I drink a few drinks and I have a drink in there. It's really strong shit.
Yeah.
But there's these brokers around the table I'm standing at.
Yeah.
Okay? And these guys are like, they're talking crazy money for things.
Yeah.
And they're like bartering, they're looking at a book and they're trying to do all these little deals and trades. And I was like, holy shit, like we should mug one of these people. Like, they probably has so much money on him right now.
I find, I tell you another thing though, like the whole money game and all of the other games that are happening. So we got heavily involved in the battle game this time round.
Dude, the broker game.
It's interesting, right? Like, it would be cool to get involved in some serious money shit. I don't know.
I don't know. I think you might enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think I would suck at it. I think
maybe.
The numbers would not.
But I think I think it's interesting to think about what your character will do when they're not fighting, because I think that fighting will always be a big part of it. That's a big part of the hype for me. I really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But what my character does, maybe as his hobby outside of battle, I suppose, being a field medic. And what your character does outside, being a frontline fighter.
Well, he mopes about not fighting.
Yeah,
that's what.
But I think though, interestingly, you kind of learn stuff, right? You're constantly learning and picking up little tidbits. As you say, you sort of see people interacting and you're seeing them role playing, right?
Yeah.
And you're understanding a little bit more, even if it's on a fairly ignorant level. You're understanding a little bit more each time.
Also, I found again this time less of it than the first time round. I didn't stand there like kind of dumbstruck looking at stuff. I did that sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you have to.
But it was only when I was faced with stuff where I didn't know what to do, or it's something really new and I didn't know how to up it. Like standing and being like, he said, "Why should I take you guys?"
Yeah.
And all of us were silent.
Yeah.
No one said anything, right? And it's just like, in those sort of situations,
you could have stepped up.
Like literally, just it could have been. It could have been mine.
Yeah.
All I needed to do was put my hand up and just wax lyrical about how fucking awesome I am and how they need me on this mission.
Yeah.
Right? Or why it's important to me, right? Which I probably could have done.
Yeah.
But for some reason...
I think that...
nothing came out.
Yeah, you've got to think... I think there's points like that. Because bear in mind, it's a little bit awkward for everybody to have to not take people. I think there is that natural kind of IC-OC conflict of like, you don't want to be rude, you don't want to be...
No,
and it's kind of tough.
I didn't worry about that.
Yeah.
It was just literally, it was just like
just kind of nerves or
probably.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
like I find, that's just full honesty. I still sometimes find myself being quite nervous talking to some of the more senior members of Navarre for some reason. Like when I went to speak to the Agrigor, which I also went to speak to the Agrigor, which you speak about.
Yeah.
So I went to see him, and the Agrigors are like, they're like player refs almost, aren't they?
Yeah. They're like kind of people. They're involved in all the shit you're involved in.
Part of PD, but they're also kind of a player as well.
Yeah, and you can ask them a question, and they'll sort of help you and point you to the person you should talk to.
I didn't see the lady that was in the first one.
I think she's no longer our Egregore.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the case.
She was the one I wanted to be a good Navarre to.
I think this actually worked all right though, because it gave you a clean slate, so you didn't have to walk in feeling.
Yeah, but this guy that I went to see anyway, who's awesome.
Yeah,
like,
really,
he's really
super cool by the way.
Because I went to see him, and he's I wouldn't say an intimidating guy, but he's got an air to him that he's
and looks legit.
Yeah, he's like you instantly like, man, this is a man that should be respected. He carries himself that way, and it's cool, right?
In a kind of like as well, that kind of quiet way.
Well, this is the thing. When I went to see him, I was like, I wanna get involved in, because me and you talked about it, and I was just like, I think it was definitely the blue balls, right? That from the battle. This has maybe started something in Ifan, because that one thing, not stepping up, that has played on me, right? Yeah. Like now I'm like, I went to the Agrigor and I was like, I want to step up to command. You know what I mean? I want to be able to like be a sergeant in these ranks, you know?
Yeah.
And he was just like, he paused, and I was just like, oh man, what's he about to say? And he said, come and see me on the battle, and then we'll get you
hooked up
in the thing. I was just like,
yeah.
I won't let you down. And it meant a lot to me, right? Like
they called you out at the battle.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So, but yeah. So okay, back to Friday drinking. We went out with our neighbours who they were new to Navarre.
Yeah. They had
character.
Oh man. I did write it down.
Terrible. One more. Oh, that's terrible.
That's terrible.
Apologies, guys. That's awful. We're a really nice couple, and we went out. But I was already pretty drunk, right? But you're used to me, right? Yeah. So when I'm in a kind of belligerent, I'm just in that kind of playful.
Yeah.
But I'm like kind of pissed off as well, and I'm like, I'm not like, this isn't like I get aggressive and fight people. It's more like I can be a bit loud and, you know, whatever.
Yeah. And bear in mind your eyes seeing with.
I started talking about like, it's all L.R.P. Yeah, definitely. But we were talking about, oh man, I'm you know, I do all this stuff. I come back from this battles in all over the place, and
bearing in mind that this is when he's with me and this girl who played like a leadership role in the battle, and is known as the Lucky Second.
She's the Lucky Second.
The Lucky Second.
She literally stepped up, earned her fucking respect, and now has like.
Was really good. She's really good commander.
You literally were like, that girl's legit.
She's legit, and like leads from the front when needs to, holds people in place, and doesn't make sort of silly mistakes and reckless moves, but acts as well, which is also important.
Could have been me.
It was so good. But anyway, so with her and the player she'd come with, who was the broker as well, which was kind of interesting. So often when we were sitting down, he was maybe doing a bit of broker game. But that was nice
because we both of our neighbours that we kind of spoke to, they were the people that we talked to. The other group was a group of lads, and they were called Tornasunder.
Faunasunder was it?
Faunasunder, because it's a play on But they were. We were really lucked out with our neighbours, basically. Everyone was really nice. Everyone was happy to RP. Cool. Also, they were happy to kind of like, because both of them seemed more experienced than us.
Yes.
Yeah. Or at least they had players that really did their homework. No, I think there'd been a few more.
Oh yeah, they've definitely been more than we had.
But they were really good with RP, really good with giving out knowledge.
There was this one guy in the Faunasunder thing, and the guy who had the little book.
Yeah.
And he had like, so he could just like give you all the prices.
There's a few players that have a wonderful art, which is to inform in character.
Yes.
And that is like, he had that shit down. Like when I started to go, what about this? And he just started RPing it. I was like, oh shit, you're right. Like I don't need to. We can do this in. Character.
You can play it out,
or at least bump across the edge of.
And as I said before, there's so many times where people will carry you through your level of your lack of knowledge to where you need to be to roleplay, and people are just so generous with it. And he was incredible, and all the guys, they looked amazing. By the way, like one of them had like a bird on his shoulder,
with the eyes that light up.
Actually moved, and its eyes were lit up. It just looked. Everyone looked sick as
solid work. Gentlemen.
He was the same guy who went apple bobbing.
Yeah,
it was great, and those guys were fantastic. But yeah, there's loads of people like that who will just tell you what you need to know, and everybody's so generous. I think the cool thing with it is, and this goes with really Empire as a thing and just LARPing as a thing, is people are eager to do the thing, right? So people are eager to heal, they're eager to fight, they're eager to sort of, when you ask them a question, give you an answer. No, everybody wants to role play all the time because it's such an exciting thing to suddenly find you thrust into.
Oh, I just felt so much better RPing with people this time round.
Yeah.
And I'll go back to what I said the first one. My crutch at the moment is context.
Yes.
Oh, I love context so much when I'm
tasty
RPing.
when you get it.
Just give me a little bit of that context, just something to rub up against so I can get away. It's it's really, I found that really helped me out a lot with RP in general.
No.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
I feel like we should actually try and do a proper cut in the episode instead of just cutting it midway through like we did last time.
I think it's a good point to end because I think basically we just had a really fucking good night.
Yeah, we went out and got pissed. I met one thing, that girl that did the play, the one I mean. She had the blonde wig. It was a wig.
So she does she looked about the
fabulous.
Coctopus and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, the Coctopus, and she was like, where was she from? Do you remember?
She was really League, drunk. I think.
League, maybe.
Might have been Dornish.
I can't remember.
No, might have been.
But we found out you can pay people to put on a play for you.
Yes.
And how many crowns was it? Do you remember?
It's thrones.
Thrones.
It's like 3 thrones.
3 thrones.
But
okay.
It's the kind of thing where you're like,
you instantly sat there. What I want to do is,
if fans spent time afterwards just talking about I think that's something I want to do. I think that's something I really want to do.
I want to sit
and
there.
It feels like a goal.
I want to have an entire play done for me.
And only you.
Only me. I want to sit in a chair and I want to just enjoy my play.
Yeah.
And then
bring a chair for one.
Yes. There'll be one chair set up. The idea tickled me so much. I'm like, I need 3 thrones somehow.
Yeah.
And the apple bobbing was going to be the fucking money maker.
We've got to make it happen. I would love just to hear you and your experience of that. That'd be so good.
I want it. I just want to just sit there and have this. I want to hear about the Coctopus.
I just love the idea.
But money, it can't be free. Yeah. Money must change hands for it to be worthwhile, it has to.
Right? And I just love the idea. We could get them to perform under our awning, right? In our camp.
No, I'll take the awning. I'll take the awning. I don't want to get sunburnt or anything.
Yeah. Living a life.
Maybe pay someone to deliver drinks.
But... Oh, so good. But no, that's fantastic. But yeah, so
cool.
much stuff. We'll get into day 2, but it was a really good time on Friday night.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right. Let's. Good luck, and we'll join you in the next one. Bye.
So, we've arrived at port. We should find an inn, but obviously we will need to rest, for the rest of our journey is long and arduous. But I'm sure we'll find the time to continue with the Noobs at LARP.